in the conversation about criminal justice reform. MiAngel Cody, her name is MiAngel, MiAngel. I mean, I'm just saying, one of her clients, Riddle, said, you know, when he saw that name of his lawyer and the lawyer's name was MiAngel, he knew he was going home free. And he did. MiAngel, talk to us.
Hi, everyone. This is MiAngel, and I have with me an entire team of people who are here. We are here demanding sentencing reform. We have Eric Wilson on the line, who's calling in from a federal prison. He's doing a life sentence. 3 things. We need sentencing reform when a nonviolent drug offender who's never spent a single day in prison is sentenced to a mandatory life sentence, and that's what we've seen over the last 3 decades. We need sentencing reform when a judge looks at that same nonviolent offender and says, you know, the law is unfair and it's actually cruel, but my hands are tied and I can't do anything for you. We need sentencing reform when we spend $30,000 per year in this country to incarcerate people long after they've rehabilitated themselves. Eric Wilson, Larry Martin, and Tyree Bell are just 3 examples of the kind of rehabilitation that we know thousands of men and women have done over the years, and we have to start speaking their names. Eric Wilson in particular withstood a night of police torture at the hands of the Chicago Police Department in the 1980s. He was kicked, he was punched, he was beaten, he was intimidated, and they were trying to force him to say he committed a murder he knew nothing about. Eric was able to withstand that night of police torture by the Chicago Police Department. For his suffering, he was awarded $100,000 in reparations. The city of Chicago is the first municipality to ever grant reparations for racial-motivated police brutality. Eric also has free college education that is guaranteed to him, free housing assistance, and job assistance. But Eric Wilson can't get to those things because he couldn't escape the grasp of our harsh sentencing drug laws in this country. And so if we could just hear briefly from Eric, I know that he's also on the line.
Yeah, and I know he's calling in from the institution. Eric, go on, talk to us.
What institution are you calling in from, Eric?
FCI Pekin, sir.
FCI Pekin. What state are you located in?
Illinois.
Illinois, okay. Come on with it.
Okay.
Hello.
How you doing?
Okay. You're on the air, partner. Come on. Hello.
Eric, tell us your story. I mean, I'm familiar with the police torture under John Burge during the 80s, and that was just absolutely horrific. So I'm really glad that you were part of the settlement of those claims, but you're not able to gather because you're sitting in prison. Tell us about your story.
Well, I got caught up hanging out with the wrong associates on the streets. Then they locked me up and tried to have me say some things about people, and since I wouldn't, they gave me a life sentence.
Wow.
So here I sit, you know, strong, faithful, and praying that the justice system will someday change itself before I can get out. I've never been a day in jail. A day, never spent a day in jail.
How long have you been in there now? How long have you been locked up?
Over 20 years, since 1995.
And you know, Nikichi, what is fascinating about Eric Wilson is that every morning he gets up and he has in his possession scissors, a welding gun, knives. These are not weapons that he has in the prison. This is because BOP staff has entrusted him to become a skilled welder. Okay, so he's been rehabilitated. He's earned the utmost trust of the federal prison staff there.
And he's not a threat to public safety.
He's absolutely not a threat to public safety. We've had 4 members of the Federal Bureau of Prisons write to President Obama, urging President Obama to commute Eric's life sentence.
And I know that Senator Durbin has been very instrumental in some of your other cases, Illinois cases as well. Is he weighing in on this case as well as Tyree Bell? Is Tyree Bell on the line yet?
Tyree Bell is not on the line. We do have Eric Wilson's daughter here. We also have Larry Martin's sister here who would like to speak as well. Okay. And I will say that Senator Durbin has been a fierce ally, not only for our cases, but for people across the country who were sentenced unfairly. So we are very hopeful that Senator Durbin and his leadership will continue to push not only just our cases, because it's not just the 3, it's an entire wave of people. And so clemency will crack the dam, but we need fulsome sentencing reform. We need the legislative pen to start working. We need laws on the books so that lawyers like me at the podium can ask for fair sentences for people. We need retroactive FSA.
And FSA is the Fair Sentencing Act, which reduced the disparity between crack and powder cocaine, but was not retroactive, did not apply to the people who were already in prison. Can we hear from some of the family members that are there now? I often hear that when someone goes to prison, the family really goes to prison with them. So can you bring on some of those family members? We just have a couple of minutes left in this segment.
Absolutely. You'll hear from Larry Martin's sister, Deborah Kane. 1 second.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Deborah.
How you doing, Deborah?
I'm fine. My name is Deborah Kane. My brother's name is Larry Martin. He has been incarcerated now for over 20 years.
Wow.
Larry is serving a life sentence. My brother deserves a second chance. He has never been violent. He was given a life sentence for drugs. Since he has been incarcerated...
Nonviolent offense?
Nonviolent offense.
Yes.
Right.
Since he's been incarcerated, he hasn't gotten into any trouble. He deserves a second chance to have a life with his family and to see his father before he leaves this earth. It would make my father so happy. He never had a police record before this case. It would seem he should be given a second chance, but has not gotten that chance. I think he deserves the chance to be with a father and now a grandfather and good brother. That is who he always been. We really miss him so very much. I've been incarcerated myself. I know how it is and what it feels like to be away from your family. It hurts more than words can explain, but at least I had an out day, something to look forward to. He doesn't. I got to come home to my family and show I was different. Larry,
do we have an application pending for executive clemency?
Yes, we do, sir.
Okay.
Yes, and do you have another family member as we get ready to close out this segment, MiAngel, or any final words from you?
Absolutely. We have Erica Wilson, whose father, Eric Wilson, serving a mandatory life sentence, would just like to talk about what it's felt like to grow up with her father behind bars.
Okay, Erica, what did it feel like? Talk to us.
Hi, my name is Erica Wilson, and honestly, it just feels like you have a gap in your life. I'm 27 years old. I have my own 2 children. I'm married, and all of these things my father has missed. He hasn't been a power. He wasn't able to walk me down the aisle. He wasn't there when I gave birth to my first son. My mother was there, but my father wasn't. For graduation, he wasn't there, physically. But I can say this one thing about my father's character. He's been locked up for over 20 years, but he never let that break him. When it came time for when we needed something, as MiAngel stated, my father has been employed inside of the prison. So those minute little cash that he gets, those little dollars that he gets, he sends them to my brother and I, my mother, whatever he can do to be able to be our provider from where he is. He's just a phenomenal person, and I just feel like he does need a second chance just to be a great citizen in society.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. MiAngel, thank you so much calling in and bringing your whole crew in. And
the
all
folks from the institution.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here. We're ready. We want President Obama's signature on these men's clemency petitions, and we also want to do what we can for Congress to bring back comprehensive sentencing reform.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you're all calling in from Illinois, right?
We are, Chicago.
See, then folks calling in, people from all over the country expressing interest in this issue right here. We need this clemency because we got a lot of people who are in pain, and they need to get back with their families.
Okay, so thank you so very much. We're getting ready for the next segment.